I believe Discmania is absolutely crushing it. Let's talk about why. Alright, so you guys have probably many opinions about Discmania. They're a little bit controversial, and they have lots of things going for them, going against them. So that'd be important just to look at where they're at right now and where I project them to be in the future. At least for right now, I see them being, if it was a stock, like if every disc golf company was a stock, I foresee them pulling out like a Tesla, where they will just rise and rise and rise and blow up. I mean, they already are pretty big for the amount of production that they have, but with all this momentum going for their players, for Simon's social media presence, there's just so much momentum going for them that I believe that they're going to explode. So starting out, they have an insane amount of demand and drive for their supply. No matter what disc it is, it will be on the site for up to a day, and then it's sold out. If it's a signature disc, like the Cloudbreaker or any of the other signature discs, it will sell out within minutes. And if you are not on it, you will not get that disc. And because of that, you can resell them for up to $200, $300, maybe $1,000. It is insane. So with this insane demand, you have so many people wanting this product. I will say that because there's such minimal supply, I think it has become kind of a Nintendo thing where they kind of drive up almost artificial demand because they have such small supply. They're just really trying to make their brand as desirable as possible. And I've talked to many people on different cards at tournaments about where Discmania is and like what they think about the company. And I think a lot of people are just upset because the Discmania discs that they have are broken or a little bit worn out, and they're looking for new ones and they just can't get it. And if you are a diehard fan, then that doesn't make you happy. Like, it's not a good thing to always be out of the discs that you want to buy. Like, people are willing to give Discmania money and they can't because the discs are always out. So I think that's a positive and a negative. I think in the future they need to be a much more professional company and actually like 10 times their production, because they will sell. Even if you have stuff sitting in warehouses for a month, it will sell. So if I had the ability to run Discmania, I would say, yeah, if we need to invest all of our profits this year in building more infrastructure, then we just do it, because we are a booming company that can astronomically perform better than any other company right now. I know that they develop a lot of their production from Innova. A lot of the stamped discs that I have from Discmania are made by Innova, so I think there's a little bit of partnership there, obviously. But they need to invest in their own facilities and their own production to actually be independent of any other manufacturer, because you can't produce if you're dependent on somebody else's discs. Okay, so now we're getting to the fun part. Starting out, let's talk about Colton Montgomery. So with his Waco win last year, he came out of nowhere and really brought himself on the scene as a competent player, even if people didn't foresee him as a win that was justifiable. He still won Waco, and I still count it. So for this year, he's not doing exactly phenomenal. His best finish was 13th at Vegas, and then this weekend he got 13th at Jonesboro. So it may not sound that good, but if you are Colton, just being in the hunt is exactly what you want to prove that you are not a nobody. You can still make it. You can still perform well amongst amazing players, and he still has amazing value to Discmania. And if he wants to sell his loan, and if he wants to sell his signature PD2, he can totally sell out of that, because it is proof that he can shred. And I would happily buy his disc if it was a reasonable price, but I don't think it is. So if you are Colton and if you are promoting Discmania, I would say he is providing tremendous value, and I have to assume that he's not getting paid all that much for the company, which is a bummer. But moving on to Casey White, obviously coming out of nowhere. I think people had super low expectations, because they're just like, oh yeah, this guy's like supposed to be the best in Massachusetts, like whatever. And he was on Simon's videos like cool. I don't think that's really that impressive. But if you were a fan of Simon and you watch all the videos, you did see that Casey was shredding. He was neck and neck with Simon on so many videos. He may not have the distance, he may not have the amazing putting that Simon had, but he was neck and neck a lot of the times. And so if you see the results this year, it should really not come as that much of a surprise. So he had a little bit rough of a go at Waco and Vegas, not performing amazingly, but overall, I think that was just like the initial introduction to the Pro Tour, and I can guarantee you that most people just starting out are not going to do that great. But then he just absolutely destroyed. So I mean, he kind of dropped out or dropped off a little bit in the last round of a lot of these tournaments. But if we see here, 6 at Belton amongst like amazing players is probably one of the best things he's done so far. We can see 8th at Texas State, again amazing, and then 10th at the Vintage Open. With the extreme conditions of the 3rd round at the Vintage Open, I consider that to be a massive win, because those conditions were just astronomically hard. But we see here, Jonesboro, he showed up. He got 5th place, just 2 places behind Eagle. And I do not foresee Simon doing that. Like, maybe Simon 2 years ago could be top 3, but I think Casey beats Simon 8 out of 10 times as of right now if Simon were to play Jonesboro. So Casey is providing an enormous amount of value to Discmania, and he needs to re-sign for a much bigger payout for him next year, because he has proven himself to be amazing. I think he's thrown Discmania for a while now, so he's familiar with the plastic, and it's not like he just made a transition this year. Like, he knows everything. So he's doing great things. But obviously, number 1 right now has to be Eagle, of course. Showing up big, especially final round. You kind of expect Eagle to maybe choke a little bit, and he did not choke. He was hitting putts like nobody's business. When Calvin and Ricky were missing putts, Eagle was draining them, and he proved himself to be the amazing putter that he is, showing up as a 3rd place finish. And I will say, Eagle has like an arm or shoulder injury. I don't know if he's fully recovered, but he seems to be doing pretty well. Did not do well at Waco, and then he got 8th at Texas State, which I think is good, but obviously for Eagle, he wants to get top 3 or better. But standing out with the first tournament, getting a win, I think that's huge at Vegas. This is just like, no matter what else happens this year, Eagle has a win. He can hold on to that. $5,500 for the prize. Still not that much for what I think disc golfers should win for first place, but he has the win, and I think the rest is gravy this year. If he could have 2 wins, then you can make the argument that he's Player of the Year, even though Ricky is destroying. And you add that all together, and you may be saying like, yeah, that's great, but like, doesn't Simon produce so much more value to the company? And I think he might, but if you just take away Simon this year, all these players are getting the bumps that you wouldn't get if Simon was in the picture. But since Simon's out, all these players have a lot more eyes on them, a lot more focus, and you could see that I think Eagle is really starting to become like a Simon-esque. He is pulling some crazy hyzer lines, some crazy difficult shots. Obviously, he threw the tilt on hole 18 at Vegas, which was totally a Simon thing to do. And he's proving that like doing fun things in a tournament can still get you the win and still promote Discmania in a positive way. So all these things combined to providing even more demand for Discmania than there already was, and there was a ton already. And then we see Simon producing amazing content, getting back in the scene, hopefully going to start in a couple of months, and all these things coming together, especially when Discmania and disc golf in general is booming. I think if just Discmania was a stock, it would be exploding right now. There'd be so much people expecting it to just keep on going up and up. So if I was the the owner or the manager, I would suspect that they're going to make tons and tons of money. They can do whatever they want and make more money. Obviously, I think their mystery boxes are kind of a way just to get rid of like bad products that they don't really want, like bad plastic, and promote one signature disc that's worth maybe $20, and the rest is just kind of like meh plastic. But people are buying it. I bought it. I was happy with the product. And I just don't foresee them doing anything negative right now. So with that said, what do you guys think about Discmania? I know a lot of people are haters about them. I throw them a lot, and I'm really happy with what I throw and the consistency of the plastic. I hardly have any plastic that just gets totally ruined. It all flies mostly what I expect it to, and so I'm pretty happy with them, and I see their trajectory, and it looks to be really good. So that's my thoughts about Discmania. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Thanks for watching. Bye.